From the Yonkers Statesman, December 12, 1916. Headline: Germany offers to make peace. Peace proposals have been made by Germany and her allies. According to a semi-official announcement in Berlin, the proposals are in the belief of the Central Powers appropriate for the establishment of a lasting peace. The dispatcher, however, gave no details of the terms. These will be made public in a speech by von Bethmann-Hollweg, the German Imperial Chancellor, in the Reichstag today. The proposals, which express the purpose of the Central Powers to enter forthwith into peace negotiations, are contained in identical notes from Germany, Austria-Hungary, Turkey, and Bulgaria to representatives of the neutral powers protecting the interests of the Teutonic allies in hostile countries. These diplomats, in the case of Germany, are the representatives of the United States, Spain, and Switzerland, and they are asked to bring the note to the attention of the nations at war with the Central Powers. The notes also have been transmitted to the Vatican and all neutral nations. In the field of war, the Teutonic advance in eastern Wallachia is continuing. Petrograd reports the failure of attacks along the Moldavian frontier. On the Franco-German front, the Germans attacked last evening on the edge of Les Loges Wood, south of the Somme sector, but according to Paris were driven from advanced positions which they should have occupied. A wireless dispatch from Berlin says that in his speech before the Reichstag today, von Bethmann-Hollweg announced that Germany, together with her allies, conscious of their responsibility before God, before their own nation, and before humanity, have proposed to hostile nations to enter into peace negotiations. A Central News dispatch from Amsterdam says it is announced officially in Berlin that Emperor William had notified the commanding generals of Germany's peace offer and informed them it is still uncertain whether the offer will be accepted. Until the uncertainty is ended, the message says they are to fight. Headline: The Common Council to regulate the movie houses. A.E. Hamilton, proprietor of the Hamilton Theatre, spoke at length in regard to several features of the ordinance which he thought were objectionable. One of these prohibits the seating in theaters to be erected in the future of more than 25% of the capacity of the house in the gallery. One of these prohibits the seating in theaters to be erected in the future of more than 25% of the capacity of the house in the gallery. He declared that in many theaters at least 60% of the seating capacity is in the gallery. The restriction to 25% would be impractical. In the Hamilton Theatre, there are 400 seats in the gallery and 600 on the floor of the house. Another provision to which Mr. Hamilton objected is in relation to the prohibition of people standing in the rear of the auditorium. He pointed out that the prohibition of this practice in the Hamilton, for example, would seriously inconvenience the general public and also affect the earning capacity of the house. People who come in late are permitted to stand in the rear of the auditorium and wait for the beginning of a new show. If this provision were to be enforced, we should be compelled to refuse them entrance to the building, and on a rainy night like the present, that would be inconvenient, he said. He contended that there was not the slightest danger in regard to fire, as there were plenty of exits. And that's the news from Yonkers 100 years ago today.